hope you guys are having a happy Tuesday because we are live in the Madden verse. And man, just wanted to make sure to get back to what we have had when it came to shows, when it comes to this space of Madden. I don't know how active I'll be when it comes to shows, so I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. Hoping at one point to get myself and Mr. Murray back into the flow of discussing the game. We'll see how that all works out. But I did want to go ahead and just go over a few brief announcements in case people have not read, because that is one thing that people like to do is not read. They don't read, and then they send you a message later asking specific questions about things that they should pretty much know if they just read in the chat. So first things first, for those trades, they have to be at least an orange. That does not guarantee you an approval, but it does guarantee you at least communication for an approval. Anything that's a red is going to be denied, period. Just want to make sure that's clear and understood. If you have not posted those contract cancels, again, we're moving slow through this week one because of, one, with the training camp on the game, two, just getting everybody in the game. And then, of course, us not having the companion app, that does kind of change things a little bit. Just trying to make sure for now everybody gets in the game and does the required steps. Don't touch free agency. That should be as clear as it can be. It's something that should have been, it's been probably the same message since we've been doing this. When it comes to any Madden, we try to go in order, or at least do some type of process to benefit users from a fair standpoint. As far as traits and all those things, we'll get to that at some point in league play. Not even going to jump into that just yet because I haven't really made a final decision on if we're going to do that or not. So the next piece, as far as sliders in preseason, they are not going to be raised up. That is not going to happen this year. We're just not doing that. I'm going back to as close as back to the old days that I used to have, where basically you had to earn everything you get for the most part when it came to gameplay. But I did notice that quite a few people have joined the league. We still have a few left to get in there. I'm not tripping about the time frame as far as right now, as far as people getting in the league. My main goal at this point is simply getting everything started and moving. Just getting people at least in the league, getting everything set up. And again, like I said, we don't have Neon, so the trade system, it looks a little bit different right now. And for those that don't like the trade system, let me tell you, my name is Mook, and I give two shits. This is your opportunity to basically shit on whoever it is you desire to shit on if they don't understand the worth when it comes to a player and when it comes to trade value. That is between you and the player and ultimately getting that trade posted. Do not be the person that jumps into the trade system and makes a trade that has not been approved. I've been very clear. I've had the conversation even with Ivan, and as we're gonna try to balance this out when it comes to league play. If you push a trade through that's not accurate based on what's posted, guys, where I am today is it's very different than where I used to be as far as the back and forth with users on decisions being made. You're simply just going to start your next game, and the best player on your team is going to be drained to zero. We're just not going to do the back and forth. Let's just honor the system that we have right now, and just go with that. So, but I did want to go ahead and do like a pre-observation, or give a pre-perspective on what I believe is going to happen when it comes to each division within league play, because again, we've got some new faces, some old, a little bit of a change here, which means I expect to see a little bit of change as far as who does what when it comes to playoff play, or getting to these playoffs, at least season one. This game is different. I can't even compare it to last year because I'll admit I had zero interest in playing Madden last year. The game was just simply too slow for me. I didn't necessarily appreciate the animation. And again, NCAA came out. It was that new car smell. We wanted to drive something new. Going to continue to be playing NCAA while we have this Madden group and see how things go from there. We're going to jump over into these current conferences, and I'm hoping I got this all right based on what I'm looking at, because again, everybody seems to be switching around. I do know that Rome is sitting with the Ravens. We've got Jacob with the Steelers. For the Bengals, going to be Supreme Sib, and then we're going to have with those doo-doo Browns, we're going to have Ben sitting with those Browns. My expectation is that by come playoff time, that most likely the person that wins this conference should be Rome. I can't think of a reason why Rome wouldn't win the conference with that Ravens team. Something, it may change going into year two, but year one, there's not really an excuse for Rome not to, if not run the table, at least win the division over in the AFC North with those Ravens. And then I think you're going to have a close second between either Jacob or Mr. Sib with those Bengals. The Browns are still going to kind of be a work in progress, I think, for Ben in the AFC North. Looking over at the AFC South with the Jags, I believe that is Mr. Oakman. Played with us last year. Was a decent user with us last year. Actually, I think he was the Bengals last year within league play. This conference at first, when I first was into it, I thought, man, I don't really have nobody in my conference. There's not going to be a lot of back and forth. There's not going to be a lot of trouble as far as having success. And then the more I looked at who's in it, there may be more pressure here than I realized initially, because I do have Mr. Oakman, who again, decent user. I think I saw him in a few playoffs in league play last season or last Madden, just from kind of paying attention to the chat. And then of course Mark's going to be playing with those Titans. And again, I think for people that aren't really understand the skill that Mark can bring to the table, it would not shock me that he would be a potential playoff user. And then, of course, myself with the Texans. And then we have the Freaky Colts. That is the name that he has chosen to use in the chat with Tony Yayo. The man's named himself the Freaky Colts. And it kind of, I kind of felt a little bad, because I do think that with the Colts winning this first week one on Sunday, there may have been a potential boost that they would have given either Daniel Jones or that offense for the Colts. But he's going to be playing with those Colts. Y'all got me fucked up. I'm just sorry. My goal is to go in here with these Texans, get as many dubs as possible, and move on. I do believe at the end of the day, it'll be a fight for that one spot between myself and Mark in the AFC South. Looking over at the AFC East, again, a conference that is pretty top heavy as far as the competitive side. And again, this is what I love about Madden versus the space of college, because everything's different. What the comp level on college and Madden are very different. I do believe Madden's a more even game from a comp perspective. I just enjoy the entertainment side of NCAA, and what keeps me to it. But you have Smitty with those Dolphins, who just got a trade over there with Justin Jefferson, sending Tyreek Hill over to the Vikings. I know a lot of people in the chat don't like that decision made by Kevin Freeman and those Vikings, but if you've been around this league enough, one thing you'd know is that Kevin Freeman is somebody he's looking for speed, and that's a great situation for him. King Kai with the Jets, he's been a good, consistent user in the league. He's been a playoff user in the league. I think he's made a bowl or two in the league. And so you got two guys that for sure have been in Super Bowls, or at least have experience in Super Bowl play, between Smitty and King Kai. So that automatically makes this conference a little bit more heavy hitters as far as Madden gameplay is concerned. With those Patriots, we are going to have Steve playing with those Patriots. Obviously, he's going to battle it out. I don't expect him to just be the third guy. I do expect Corey to be, unfortunately, the fourth user in this conference, depending on the type of gameplay he decides to play with this year. But I'm going to go with either King Kai or Smitty taking season one. I do think that Kenny's in a little bit of a disadvantage just from an offensive standpoint, maybe with that Patriots team. But we'll see. I think it's going to definitely run between these three. Ultimately, I do think that Smitty takes the conference of the AFC East. And then the AFC West, probably the most personal conference in the league, because this is a conference of people that love and hate each other all in the same space. Definitely going to have J-Stack finally gets his team with these getting the Chiefs, and then of course Top is going to get those has the Raiders. Broncos is Lolo, and Ivan gets the Chargers. This is probably the first Madden that I've seen Ivan start with a heavily defensive team. So I'm curious how that's going to change his gameplay defensively as far as some of the decisions that he makes. Actually, probably one of the better teams I've seen Ivan start with on Madden. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for him. I expect kind of a similar seasons for Lolo. But this conference right here is actually very wide open. This is probably the most even conference from a comp standpoint. Obviously, the most decorated user in the conference is going to be Top with those Raiders. But definitely, you can't just sleep on the fact that J-Stack now has his team. I do think in season one, I don't know. I really don't know. I really want to go with just the Chiefs because it's J-Stack with KC and then getting them season one. But I'm going to say most likely that Lolo is going to be on the oddball out when it comes to the AFC West to start in season one. Top's not going to struggle because his style of play of Madden. And then, of course, for me with Ivan, it just depends on the version of Ivan that we get. I think for Ivan, it's going to be has a lot to do with at week one. Whatever he can see in week one or preseason, I think will determine how he operates going forward with this team. So with that, I'm going to go between J-Stack and Top, with most likely J-Stack taking the AFC West. Looking over at the AFC North with those Lions, and I'm not even really sure who won the Lions. Got to go back and double check here. I'm pretty sure Fuzz got the Lions, and let me tell you, that is going to be a huge problem. That is, I'm concerned for everyone in the NFC the moment he got those Lions. Reeve getting the Green Bay Packers, also getting Micah Parsons in a recent real life trade that benefited him right before league starts. Kevin Freeman, another decorated user. He did get him a Super Bowl last Madden with those Vikings, goes right back to those Vikings. And then, of course, we have Olympic with those Bears. I believe what's going to happen at the end of the day, Olympic is the oddball out in this conference. He's going to start this season most likely as the worst user coming out of this conference. So I definitely believe he's going to be at the bottom. No questions there at all. Kevin Freeman's going to battle this out. He did get his opportunity of getting those Vikings again this year. The way he built them last year, I don't know why he wouldn't have. I don't know why he'd have an issue doing the same thing. This conference is Fuzz's. They'll just call it what it is. Fuzz is taking the conference. Everybody else is going to be battling for second and trying to get into the playoffs. But this conference is ultimately Fuzz's to lose. We'll see the gameplay Reap can come out with Micah Parsons on that defense. And then I did see a trade attempt that he was trying to make earlier that just didn't pan out. But we are going to see how this plays out, but ultimately this conference goes to Fuzz. Looking at the NFC South, definitely another conference that's kind of, I mean, this is a heavy hitter because most people don't really remember in this group Octavius. Octavius is a Madden user. Um, he's probably, at least, let me just say from a past experience, dude has been that dude on the game, 100%. How he's going to look in league play with that Falcons team this year, I have no idea. But if he plays the way I remember him from a skill standpoint, I actually remember playing him in a Super Bowl at one point, well, way back when. I've seen him win some Super Bowls, or at least that I've seen posted in a few of the different groups that I've seen him in. It again, I don't know what it's going to look like for him for on this Madden, or at least within our group, but that's a whole fucking problem over there with those Falcons, and I do not expect. I hope nobody goes into a game with Octavius and doesn't take it from the perspective of this dude's trying to put 70 on you, because he is. Like, that is his goal. He's not going to say a whole lot in the chat. He's just here to compete, get his dubs, and move the fuck on. That is a change that, at least that I'm seeing in him from previous years. But yeah, that's a whole problem. With the Panthers, Earl got the Panthers this year. Earl is absolutely the oddball in this conference. It is by far the worst situation he could have been in, just from a user standpoint, from a competitive standpoint. Um, that's just that's an ass situation to be in compared to the other situations within within that division. Now, I will say he's got an opportunity to build and pay guys and not be cap strapped compared to everyone else within his division. But as of right now, I think Earl's the oddball user in the NFC South. There's going to be some struggle with those Panthers, but with some build, and again, we'll see how the game plays out. Maybe he has a shot, but I'm calling it a no chance situation currently for those Panthers season one. With the Saints, I do not know a lot about Preacher's game. I just don't know a lot about Preacher's game to really give any kind of information on how he's going to play this year. It sounds like he's a guy that can play a little bit. It sounds like he's going to be a competitor. It sounds like he's somebody that people should pay attention to. But again, I don't know this because I don't know a lot of information about his skill. Some people have said that he's got some pretty good skill and that you are going to have to play a full four-quarter game to beat him. And so that makes his conference, if that's true, makes his conference pretty competitive. But we'll see how this all plays out as he's got those Saints. And then, of course, another decorated user in Hyundai with those Bucks. I've seen him win, play great over in good times. I saw him play great in Texas Heat. I don't expect anything to change from a gameplay standpoint when it comes to Hyundai. I'll be honest, until I know what the skill, from a skill standpoint, what Preacher is like with those Saints, there's only two users that I can point out in this conference or in this division, and that's going to be between Hyundai and Octavius with those Falcons. Going over to the NFC East, you have Colton with those Cowboys, which, man, I think everybody is going to be in trouble. Maybe not defensively because they did lose Micah Parsons, which is a huge piece. I hope the game at least is going to benefit him from at least a cap situation. I haven't even checked that on the game, but we'll see how that all plays out. And then, of course, Bloodshed did get those Eagles. I think I like the situation for Bloodshed with the Eagles. You don't really got to do anything crazy with that team to have success, at least in season one. And then, of course, with the Giants, we do have T-Dub. I'm sorry, we do have D We do have D over with the Giants. Yeah, I gotta pause. I gotta now. We gotta figure out a whole new name for Cuz. I'm just gonna call him Mighty Giants for now, because we ain't just gonna be sitting here call D. Now we ain't gonna be doing that all day. He's a good player. He's a playoff user. This conference is no slouch. And then of course Swag gets his favorite team in those Washington Commanders. So really, this conference to me is automatically going to Colton season one. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I think it's going to be between Colton and D-Tub with those Giants. And then I don't, because here's the thing, I don't know what I'm going to get out of Swag, period. One game, I think Swag is coming out to play, get his dubs, and build and be successful. The next, Swag just left the cigar lounge with a bottle of whiskey, and he's asking you to load up while he throws up 10 picks. So I just don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get, because that's really what it kind of comes down to, is the outside world. I think when it comes to gameplay for Swag, if Swag gives a fuck, he can be a problem. If not, then this conference or this division will be Colton's and going against those mighty Giants with no issue. Last but not least is the NFC West. I'm going to go ahead and call it. And I think this is unintentionally trying to irritate anybody within the division. Again, oddballs out. DTZ is the oddball out in this conference with those Rams. I think he's going to be able to build over time. I'm just looking at skill, comparing to skill. I've always said if DTZ has some kind of run game in his passing game, he can play against anybody. But when he gets out there and he wants to run 10,000 streaks and just throw the ball all day, he's going to be pick city. He's just 100% going to be pick city every damn down, every damn possession that he has the ball. So if DTZ comes out and he doesn't play that style of play, then I think he has a chance to at least win 7, maybe 8 games. If he does come out and play that style, he does not win a game in his division, just to start it there. But he's going to be the oddball out for most, I'd say most likely in this division. Justin James is going to play with those 49ers, and Justin James has never not really been a guy that hadn't made the playoffs. Typically, if Justin James hasn't made the playoffs, it's because he was out of town and he ended up missing a game or two. That's typically what I see that kind of transpires when it comes to Justin James and his success when it comes to league play. I've played against Brad and against Qua, another decorated user in Qua. Qua's got a Super Bowl. He's been a playoff user. He obviously not a playoff user within this league. It's his first season or first time playing over with our group of guys that have been playing Madden. But what I do know is that Qua can be a playoff user, and he has got rings, or he has a ring from what I can remember from a league that was quite competitive. So you're going to have those two guys between Justin James, and then, of course, you have Brad with the Cardinals. Brad has been also, he's been a playoff user. And then, but I think when you look at this current division, I don't know what that Cardinals team looks like right now. I do see that Brad's trying to make some trades. I do see Brad trying to make some trades to obviously make some changes with those Cardinals. And he's going to be competitive within this division. But I do think at the end of this season, comes season one, and again, it comes down to activity and who's going to be playing their games. I do think it's going to come down to Justin James and Qua at the end of the season between this division. And then Brad will most likely be fighting for that third spot. As seasons go on, we'll see how it plays out, but I think most likely this will be the end. So going over to just the main set of conferences, just or for each conference, as I stated earlier, I don't think my current prediction is going to change. I can't see a reason for it to change. Madden's a little bit easier to predict from a gameplay standpoint than I think college is because, and the only reason I say that is because a guy can start with a team on college that is completely absurd. That's a 5-star or 5 prestige situation. And you can have a really good user in a 3-star prestige situation. It just doesn't matter if the guy with the 5-star team just simply presses X and doesn't overthink the game. Uh, I don't think anything's going to change when it comes to the current predictions, but we'll see as time goes on. I'm loving to seeing everybody making these trades right now. I'm hoping myself and Ivan or whoever will be able to do some shows later on. But yeah, just wanted to get out a quick show to tell everybody, man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for us to get active in gameplay. We don't have the Neon Sports app because we don't have the companion app just yet. So once we get that companion app, the way the trade system will look, we'll go back to what I had originally posted, and then we'll go from there. Other than that, man, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and good luck to everybody this season. I'm enjoying the shit talk from people that have no idea who they're about to play in some of these games. It makes it really interesting. I cannot wait to see the endings. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day, man. I'm out. Peace.